Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to swap brake pedal assemblies in your F2x, F3x, and F8x cars. Now if you're asking yourself, why would I swap my brake pedals? Is this a common failure? Absolutely not. And if you have an F2x or F3x chassis vehicle, you're probably never going to swap your brake pedals. But if you're in an F8x car, you actually have a pretty good reason to. And if we look at these two brake pedal assemblies here, the F8x on the right and the F2x in my left hand here, you can see there is a dramatic difference in the width of these pedals. And so this brake pedal over here in my left hand is from an F3x and F2x automatic vehicle. And you can see that it is really wide. It's about 105 millimeters wide. This pedal over here, this brake pedal from my brand new M2 competition, even though I have a DCT automatic, you still only get the manual transmission with brake pedal, which is only 60 millimeters. And so why does that matter? Well, if you drive conventionally with just your right foot for throttle and right foot for brake, no problem. But if you're like me and you like to left foot brake, having this extra amount of pedal material extending out towards the dead pedal makes a world of difference. And I know there's also some folks out there with different size feet that also prefer this larger brake pedal. So once again, you can see right here a very large difference in width, and that's why I'm going to do this. I did look at pedal extensions, aftermarket, pedal covers. Those were all somewhere around the $100 mark. I paid like $35 for this, so this is definitely a cheaper option. And one that you don't have to worry about, some cover coming off because, well, it's just one solid piece. Another thing that I should mention about these is look at these side by side. So you can see that both of these pedals have the exact same drop. So you're not going to get any change in height by doing this. And you're not losing anything either, right? Like whatever the original DCT pedal covers, you're still maintaining that with the F30, F20, F30, F2x, F3x pedal, and you're just gaining that extra extension. So here is our stock pedal arrangement. You can see there's just so much room on the left side of this brake pedal. Plenty more room for a larger pedal. So the first thing we're going to remove under here are these two 10mm nuts which secure this bottom tray. Now we can just take a trim tool and just wedge it up in here and pull this piece down. Next we'll want to remove these two connectors and then we can just pull the rest of the tray out. Now we can see the brake assembly, and if we follow the pedal as it goes up, you can see where the linkage connects to the actual pedal. And if we look at the side over here, you can see there's a little clip. So in order to release the linkage from the brake pedal, we have to remove this clip on the pin. And the way you do that is, I can see I'm using a flathead screwdriver, and I'm just kind of putting it in here so that I can apply leverage to this and spread it. So let me see if I can do this with the camera here. So I'm opening the pin like that, and then I'm going to try and scoot it off of the head of the pin here. And this is a lot easier when you're not filming this and you have a camera in the way. There we go. So you can see I have this off, and now what I can do is I can push out the pin and pull it out of the other side. Once again, you can just use your hands and fingers to do this. It's just a little bit difficult because I've got all this filming stuff here. And now the brake pedal is free of the linkage. Now, before we start loosening the various bolts to remove the pedal assembly, let's go ahead and unplug this wire up here for the brake light sensor. And if we look a little bit deeper in and also up, you'll see that we have a small 10mm nut at the top holding the assembly in, and then a little bit lower near the firewall where the pedal connects, pedal assembly connects, we have two 13mm nuts that hold this assembly in there. You may need some extensions and long sockets just to kind of maneuver around things here, but we'll remove those 3 nuts in order to remove the pedal assembly. And out comes our pedal assembly. So let's take a little bit closer look at the pedal assembly and what's on it. So here's the pedal assembly, and if you recall, we unplugged that little wire from here, and this is the brake light sensor. So you can see here you've got this, this plate on the back side of the pedal, and when that's touching the back side of the sensor here, it tells your brake light turn off. But when you extend it and it doesn't make contact anymore with the back side of that sensor, well, that's what signals your brake light to come on. Over here we have this little pin, and if you recall from when we were up close and personal inside the car with this thing, this is what retains the linkage to the actual brake master cylinder. And once again, here's a good look at that clip, and what we do is we just need to pull this outer part up and slide the clip over the head of the pin here that holds that linkage. So there's really not too much to this assembly, right? You saw we had those 3 different nuts, the 10mm up top, the two 13mm holding this to, you know, the firewall area. We have this wire for the sensor, and then we have, you know, this clip which holds the pin for the linkage to the master cylinder. Now we'll go ahead and put the new brake pedal assembly up into the area. You kind of have to put it inside and then rock it into place. Once we've got the pedal assembly into place on the posts, we can go ahead and start by putting the 13mm nuts back on them. And then the 13mm nuts will get torqued to 21 Nm or 15.5 foot-pounds. Then we can refasten the 10mm nut up top and torque that to 8 Nm or 6 foot-pounds. Now we can take the pin again and insert it from the inside side of the car, push it through the pedal and the linkage out the other side. Then we can take the retaining clip, slide that on the head of the pin so that it's on the grooves, and then we can push it down to lock it and secure the master cylinder brake linkage to the pedal. Lastly, for the new brake pedal assembly itself, we'll go ahead and take our connector for the brake light and then plug it into the brake pedal sensor. Now we can put the bottom tray back underneath and kind of into position. And then we can go ahead and take the electrical connectors for the little footwell light, plug that in, as well as the speaker. Now if we look at the tray itself, you'll notice we have one loop that's supposed to go on a little hook, a plastic hook hanging down from the top there. And aside from that, it's really just these 3 clips in front that have to pop into mounts to secure this piece. So now I'm going to start on the rear right side, pushing this up and making sure that loop is going over that plastic hook hanging down for it. And then I'm going to push the rest of this back up and in and make sure that this goes around the airbag here, and also these 2 holes over here where the threaded rods hang down indexed properly. And once the rear section is all in, then it's just a matter of pushing these 3 clips up into their respective holes. Don't be afraid to give it a little bit of a smack. Then we can finish things off by putting on the 2 10mm lock nuts on the airbag, and these just need to be hand tight snug. And there you go. Now you have a larger pedal that's easier for left foot braking. So there you have it, guys. That's how to swap your brake pedal on your F2x, F3x, and F8x cars. Really the most difficult thing is just kind of contorting your body over the side sill to work up in there. But aside from that, this is a pretty easy mod.